O'Doyle rules.
I'm gonna make him an offer he can't refuse.
I'm not even supposed to be here today! Oh, fuck you!
Come on, you want me to drive? You're supposed to be suicidal. Remember,
I'll
anybody to drive. Get in the car.
Fucking shit! Fuck me in the fucking ass! Fuck you, you fucking stupid cunt!
Hey everyone, it's Don G. Corleone here, and I'm here with a brand new movie review, and this movie review is going to be for a 1995 Adam Sandler comedy, Billy Madison. Yeah, one of the few earliest films he did. By the time of his career was kind of starting to take off. So anyway, what's the plot of Billy Madison? Well, Billy Madison is a 27-year-old man whose father Brian is the head of a major hotel chain. Even though he's groomed to replace his father who's about to retire, Billy is too immature and unmotivated in life. So when Brian considers making Eric Gordon, who Billy despises, his new replacement, Billy decides to prove to his father that he is capable of taking over the hotel business. And in order to do that, he has to repeat grade school all over again from grade 1 to grade 12 in order to take over the hotel empire within 2 weeks. The further Billy progresses, the more Eric tries to derail Billy, though. So yeah, how was this film made? Well, filming took place from June 26 to August 29, 1994 in Toronto, Ontario, in Canada. Sandler convinced Universal Studios to hire Stephen Kessler to direct the film, but after 3 days of filming, Universal got unhappy with the footage and replaced him with a director they got called Tamara Davis, who was Universal's initial top choice to direct the film. In the Madison exterior and the grounds they were shot at the Parkwood Estate in Oshawa, and the interior was filmed in Toronto at Casa Loma. The entrance to the mansion got filmed at August and Mont Street in Kane City. And meanwhile, on Norm Macdonald's show, Sandler revealed that the role of Jack was originally going to go to Alan Covert, but Sandler wanted Bob Odenkirk for the role of Eric Gordon. The studio rejected that, and Sandler wanted Philip Seymour Hoffman for the role. He auditioned and turned down, and when it came to former actor Chris Farley filming his scenes as the bus driver, he drinks 6 shots of espresso to prepare for the scene. So, after the movie was officially complete, Billy Madison would go on to premiere into theaters on February 10th, 1995, and it made a decent enough profit with $26 million worldwide, and it debuted at number 1 at the box office. And of course, it got mixed reviews upon the time its release, but like most of the other Sandler comedies around this time, like Happy Gilmore and this became a cult following over the years. Now, as for my reaction to the movie, this has always been easily one of my favorite Adam Sandler comedies. I think it's a pretty great time to review it around Labor Day weekend because many are about to go to school very soon. Right here. Yeah, it's definitely not like a masterpiece of a film it's not like something like Citizen Kane or something, but it's one of those movies that just really sticks out to you the most, in the mind the most. It's twisted, it's crude, it's tasteless comedy, and it never ceases to bring out extreme laughter in the viewers, even after I've seen it several times, ever since my final year of high school. I don't ever get tired of this movie. I'd say this and Happy Gilmore are the Sandler comedies I never get tired of watching the most. There's things in the movie that are a little absurd and they're a little too hard to understand, but every Sandler flick, you have absurd stuff like The Penguin, and even that's a memorable moment. There's memorable quotes from the film too, like O'Doyle rules, or even it's one of those movies that's easy to quote from easily the top of my head. Here's quite a few good quotes, suntan lotion is good for me, you protect me, or it's too damn hot for a penguin to just be walking around, I gotta send him back to the North Pole, or shampoo is better, I clean out the hairs, conditioner is better. I make the hair look silky and smooth. Yeah. Start looking at me, swan, or chef, or did you fall asleep at the pool, or did you pass out? Shut up, or how about the frequent Doyle rules, or how about in the car scene? Who rules? A Doyle rules. 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 Off the cliff because Chris Farley eats this banana that gets peeled. It throws the peel on the road, and it's there for quite a while. And the Doyles happen to drive on it, and it looks like it slips, even though it probably wouldn't in real life. But it's still funny as hell. Or you're giving a company to Eric. He's a bad, bad man. Or even the Gum song that the characters sing. Or this, Mortal Kombat on Sega Genesis. It's the best video game ever. I disagree. I think it's a very good game, but I think Donkey Kong's the best game ever. Donkey Kong sucks. You know something? You suck. Or even the third grade class when one of the kids is struggling to read, and Billy Madison goes, "Today, Junior." Yeah, right. The great thing about Billy Madison is, like, you're not supposed to take it nor judge it seriously. They knew while making that it was not going to be an Oscar winner. It was not going to be something like Citizen Kane or The Godfather. It's supposed to be some, like, intriguing and involved plot. But as, like, rightfully, it definitely, you can see why it earns this cult status among many film lovers and many Sandler fans since its release. It's a pretty quotable and memorable film. Like, the plot is pretty simple. You have this 27-year-old man that makes a bet with his dad that they can repeat and pass grades 1 to 12 in like 2 weeks each grade, and he'll take over his dad's hotel company instead of this obnoxious and sociopathic assistant of his named Eric, who's played by Bradley Whitford, who was the evil girlfriend's dad in Get Out, was sadly one of the wannabe OCP people in the shitty RoboCop 3. But yeah, it's not bad in this. Yeah, like, the film that falls, like, in each grade, it's like, they don't do kindergarten, they don't do preschool, they go from, like, grade 1 all the way to grade 12. It seems like much of a plot, but not really much of a plot, though. I mean, it is inept, it is kind of idiotic, it's unrealistic and bizarre, but that makes it one of the funniest movies ever made. It's endless amounts of gags that make you laugh over and over again. It has a perfect sense of humor. It makes you laugh because it's strange and nonsensical. And the gags rely on this hybrid of black humor and slapstick that produce physical results. Now, how does this movie begin? Well, Billy Madison, when we first meet him, he's a dim-witted, childish, spoiled 27-year-old hired to Madison Hotels. That's this whole, like, chain of 650 hotels that's owned by his father, is played by the dad from A Christmas Story. Named Brian Madison. Billy, most of the day, he's, like, drinking with his friends, creates disturbances, like, constantly hallucinating a penguin all over and stuff, trying to chase after a penguin all drunk. Then, of course, one evening, Billy then ends up ruining a dinner meeting between Brian and his associates by acting obnoxiously because Eric keeps basically doing stupid shit at the dinner table. Brian then starts losing confidence in Billy and chooses this idiot guy that's Eric Gordon, obviously the guy that we talked about that was doing the stupid shit at the table. And then pretty much is assigned that he's going to take over Madison Hotels. Billy begs Brian to reconsider his decision because he knows how bad and corrupt and cruel Eric really is. But Brian rules that the reason why Billy passed school was because he bribed Billy's school teachers to give him passing grades. So the two come up with a compromise. Billy has to complete all 12 school grades within 2 weeks for each grade and prove that he's competent enough to manage the company. And that's pretty much how our plot of the movie kicks off. Right there. The casting's lovely. Adam Sandler puts on his typical comedic performances around this time that was introducing people to him in the 90s. Like, the character and performance are both great. They do get a little annoying at times, but still, like, he meets this love interest in third grade teacher named Miss Veronica Vaughn, and constantly obsesses over her rack throughout the whole film. It's played by Bridget Wilson, who gives a terrific performance. You have other solid cast members here. You got Jared Crook, Norm Macdonald, R.I.P., Josh Mostel, Steve Buscemi. Also, Also, you do get Chris Farley as the bus driver. May he also rest in peace. And also, you got the dad from A Christmas Story who plays Billy Madison's dad in this. Also, may he rest in peace. But they're like, first and foremost, like, yeah, you can definitely tell this is an Adam Sandler film, like with stuff like Happy Gilmore. Like, this is back when he actually knew how to be funny. Like, this is back when he made a lot of funny stuff. Films like this, or Happy Gilmore, The Waterboy, or Big Daddy. Even, like, there was still some good stuff he did in the 2000s, but this was back in, like, the gold age of his career. Like, pretty much, yeah, the golden age of his career. Like, definitely the kind of, like, the reason why this film is so charming, because it taps into that pretty much little kid of all of us, the ones that look back at those grades, the high school days, with parts of nostalgia or parts of horror. It does this excellent job of portraying both and so much more. Or, like, the crush on teacher standards, or, like, or bullying, or social cliques interactions. There's, like, yeah. You can definitely relate to the type of jokes that Sandler and the game provide in this whole movie. Like looking back on this now, I do kind of look back at how some of these grades were, and my times in those grades in the movie were, and that pretty much how it all pretty much went those times. And I think grade 1 and grade 3, I think, were the funnest. Grade 2, I think, was meh. Grade 4 definitely sucked. Was homeschooled the rest of the times. Like 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Was homeschooled the rest of the times, but was honestly not too bad. But honestly, those times weren't too bad. Really, even then. There were still some moments from the high school days I do remember. And shortly after he gets enrolled in school, Billy becomes attracted to the third grade school teacher, Veronica Vaughn. She obviously doesn't like him at first and ignores him. However, though, Billy does get through grade 1, right there, where, like, during that, they read a story called The Puppy Who Lost His Way, and Billy does not like how the story ends with the boy just almost giving up and finding the dog, and the dog just shows up again, and no, you have a responsibility. You get out there and you find the fucking dog. And honestly, like, Billy Madison actually is kind of right. That's kind of stupid as he is at first. He's right about that. If you lose your dog, don't just expect it to just magically show up at your doorstep again if you lose it. Like, go find it, and don't just give up and think it's just going to appear like magic at your doorstep after you give up. Like, no, you still find it regardless if it goes missing. It's your fucking dog, you take responsibility. So yeah, he points out how pretty much dumb the boy in the story is. How dumb the story kind of is. In a way. So, and then there's like, and then he had like his obsession with snack packs, or, hey, that's a cool snack pack you have. Want to trade me for this banana? You know how badly it can beat you, right? But yeah, so yeah, Billy successfully progresses through the first 2 grades. Every time he passes a grade, there's often a party. Especially like when normal adults characters like, nice, you got to throw a party. When I graduated first grade, all my dad did was tell me to get a job. And of course, this one clown trips and it looks like he dies, but he doesn't, because in the Gum song he comes back and he actually didn't die. Like, there, so yeah, he gets to the first 2 grades, and then of course, once he gets to 3rd grade, he finds out Veronica is teaching that grade, right there. And at first, like, she clearly doesn't want him there at all, is annoyed he's there. And like, in the first scene, where he's mocking the 3rd grader that he can't read, and then Veronica pulls him out of the class, puts him on kind of timeout there, and then, I see your lips moving, but I can't make out the words. I'm deaf. Oh, Veronica Vaughn, so hot. Want to touch the hiney? Because he constantly obsesses over her rack and stuff. Then of course on his field trip, he finally does manage her in respect when he stands up for this other classmate named Ernie, who's like quickly friends with him. One of the first friends in school he makes, and so he sees that Ernie wet himself, and like, you finally do see the good side in Billy Madison right here, where he goes to pour water on his pants, and then shows, yeah, everybody pees their pants the coolest. cool, yeah, cool, let's pee your pants. And then they see Ernie pee his pants, and then he gets popular right there. So that you finally see that Billy Madison actually is not an asshole. He actually has a good side to him right there. That's what really begins his character development. And Billy does become popular among the third graders. And, like, he starts to miss them as he advances through school, like, and stuff. He still sits with them at lunchtime, during his final time, and, like, middle school, they're like, next week you start high school. You won't want to hang out with a bunch of lame elementary kids like us. And Billy's like, that's not true. I'll come visit you guys all the time. Like, yeah. Meanwhile, though, Billy's progress is not sitting well with Eric, and he wants to take over Madison Hotel, so he needs a way to thwart Billy's plans. So he blackmails Billy's elementary school principal named Max Anderson into pretty much lying that Billy bribed him for passing grades with this wrestling magazine that has pictures of Max's previous career called The Revolting Blob, who was pretty much, because apparently, like, accidentally killed a man in the ring, so... And then that happens on national TV just as he's in, like, high school and stuff. You get another Doyle Rules thing where Billy gets this thing poured on his head. And then when he goes to visit the third graders, Veronica convinces him, like, maybe there was this kid he bullied in school when he was in high school around that time. So he calls this character that's played by Steve Buscemi in a cameo. He apologizes for bullying him. Steve Buscemi accepts it, and he crosses Billy off to the kill list. Then you get the whole television confession thing, and then Billy's father's mad. He cancels the deal with Billy and allows Eric to take over the company. So Billy's now distraught. He goes back to his previous immature lifestyle. But after he tries to put dog shit on Veronica's doorstep, Veronica then goes down, beats him up, throws him in the pool, and motivates him to return to school. And his grade school, and then of course you get the song number, "Do you have any more gum?" As he then regains his confidence, and some pretty funny bits in the line, like, "Don't I have a nice rack?" And then Billy just turns to the audience like, and of course the clown from earlier shows up and goes, "Hey kids, it's me. I bet you thought that I was dead, but it turns out I got a hemorrhage in my head." And yeah, of course, and then, of course, it just ends with them asking if they have any more gum. Like, it's an absurd moment, but it works so well because of how really well delivered it is. And yeah, so I can accept them breaking into song because it's meant to be kind of a hallucination right there. So yeah, after that, the third graders, they go to Max's house, they convince him to retract his false accusations. Eric is mad about that, and Brian agrees to give Billy another chance because he finds out that the whole Max thing was a lie. And Eric cites that Billy failed the challenge by not finishing 9th grade, so he doesn't get to try again. And he threatens to sue Brian in court if he does not pass the company to him. But Billy, of course, intervenes to make sure that doesn't happen, and he decides to challenge him to an academic decathlon instead, so they can settle the feud with the winner getting to take over Madison Hotels. Like, many of the jokes and gag in the film are supremely strange. Like, Billy makes this call to this old classmate he used to bully, apologizing to him in that bit. And then that guy comes back to save Billy. Right there, like, it feels like this inspired piece of alternative comedy, and it works really well. There's many absurd moments, but they're not supposed to be taken serious right here. And it does avoid what many of the worst Sandler comedies that would happen in the later days would do. Trying to trick the audience with, like, sentimentality and convince them to believe in the film does have an emotional core, and in a way it kind of does. It knows exactly the movie it kind of is. It makes no apologies for how stupid or ridiculous it could kind of get, and I definitely love and respect and appreciate the movie for doing that. Like, the soundtrack is also a great hit. You have, like, Billy Rose's song "Stroke" even plays in the credits and plays in the high school scene. Right there, you have some other great songs and a great score too. Like, na 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 na. Right there, right, plays throughout the film. It's not the only good thing about the movie. Like, there's also a plot that wouldn't really make much sense, but it definitely works for a not bad storyline for a movie that's not meant to take itself seriously. And also, like, the ending does also feels good and does feel weird at times with the kissing montage, but that's gonna be a later time. I'll get to that bit later. Many other things also are more popular by this movie, like the snack packs, obviously. The snack packs are kind of now a more popular thing for me now after seeing this movie. now like the Billy Madison has this obsession with snack packs and throughout the whole film because he like really loves them, and it's just silly from the get-go. It's stupid, it's childish, but the stupid and childish stuff is actually hilarious. It's not like done to the point of being all obnoxious and annoying. No, it's actually done with normality, and it works really well. Like it actually deserves to be. The stupid moments actually do deserve to be in the film, though, and it actually just makes me laugh so many times, and it makes the film rewatchable a lot of times. Like right there. Like, Billy Madison's a movie with so many hilarious scenes. Like, the third grader peeing his pants, afraid to get on the bus of the field trip, and Sandler throwing water on them, and telling them that peeing their pants is cool. And it also shows the good side of him and begins his character development. When he saves the child from embarrassments. Then when he calls Steve Buscemi to apologize for bullying him. And, of course, the Buscemi character crosses Billy off the people to kill list. And, of course, that guy even comes to Billy's aid. Like, it's just a fun movie. It's also lighthearted and a touch of outrageous behavior and some good character development for a character who's kind of a lazy idiot. Like, it's a perfect breakout Sandler hit. Like, this was back when his career was starting to take off. Like, or even favorite other great lines. Like, when I finally passed third grade, all my dad did was tell me to get a job. Right there. Like, it requires a few rewatches people to understand all the quotes very well. Like, and of course, like, or even one scene in this Valentine's Day party of the third grade where Billy gets a love letter from his 50-year-old principal that says he's horny, and he looks awkwardly at the principal that nods guiltily. Or when he rubs up against Billy. That's this random weird for the sake of being weird. Like, it's jokes that really make up the movie. Or even other jokes, like where this woman wipes her son's nose and wipes herself with the same rag, which seems a little gross, but it's kind of funny. Right there. Or the maid that raises Billy has his sexual feelings for him throughout the film. Or even tries to, and sees he's faking sick and uses those to make him go to school. And Billy's seeing visions of a man in a penguin suit, constantly chase after this invisible penguin, and throwing dodgeballs at the 6-year-olds. Or a psychotic lunch lady with the sloppy joes. That's tough. A clown that looks like it dies at first, but it turns out it didn't. Right there. Or the Doyle slip over the banana peel and they crash off into a cliff while chanting their line. Like, this film's just a ride from start to finish. Right there. So now we get to the finale with the decathlon. Yeah, both Gordon and Billy, they're excelling different activities. Right there, sometimes Billy will win, or sometimes Eric will win. Like, Billy wins his baking contest, Eric wins his running contest, and Billy pushes Eric, and these two teenagers see the whole thing like, oh, gross! Did you see that guy's balls? Yeah, they were weird looking. Or Billy uses a science experiment, and then Billy secretly uses one of his shoes. Or even the host is funny. If there's any attempt to cheat, like so, or even cheat with my wife, stuff. Or like, the host is also gold. And or when like Matt during the final part of the decathlon, Mr. Madison, what you said was one of the most idiotic things I've ever heard. Everyone is now dumber from having listened to it. I reward you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul. Or during when Eric has a gun, he just looks like he doesn't give a fuck at all. It doesn't even seem like whatever. It just makes the scene more gold, and just more gold of a character. Right there, he's a minor role, but even the host is hilarious. Right there, so yeah. Billy manages to take a single point before the contest final event. And it's this Jeopardy academic test where you have to pick the opponent's topic to talk about and a question right there. So when Eric picks reflections of society and literature, Billy gives a dim-witted answer for the opening question of the event, and so he fails. Now Eric has a chance to win the contest. No, the stakes are now high, so Billy has to be careful with what to pick. He's now trying to figure out what he's going to have to pick for Eric, so he obviously knows that Eric has no ethics as a businessman whatsoever. He's obviously corrupt, so he picks the topic business ethics right there, because he knows Eric has none of that at all. He knows it'll show that he's not fit to run the hotel, so he So he actually picks wisely, uses his wits to ensure he stays a point ahead. And because, like, Eric's a corrupt businessman and just wants that hotel business for the money, so he can't think of an answer. And so, now knowing he's not going to get that hotel, obviously, he then breaks down, whips out a pistol there, and is about to shoot Billy out of revenge for ruining his attempts to take over the hotel business. And then Max immediately tackles Eric backstage before he's about to harm Billy. Eric immediately recovers from the attack and tries to shoot Veronica. But then, of course, Steve Buscemi cameo shows up and then shoots Eric in the ass. And then Billy's like, man, I'm glad I called that guy. And then, of course, the movie right ends with pretty much Billy's now kind of able to go through all the other grades. Obviously, off-screen, he goes through 10th, 11th, and 12th after that. Now able to go through those with no problem. So he graduates school, and Billy announces, I'm not going to be running this hotel business might not be for me. So I'm going to give the company to Carl. So pretty much, Brian's other associates, Carl, who was actually more there for Billy, and is so actually a lot more supportive of Billy. So Billy gives the hotel business to him. He decides that Carl's more appropriate to run the place. It's definitely more fit to run the place. Decides that maybe he's not too fit after all. So, yeah, and since he recognizes Carl's the more polite and more loyal manager towards Brian's company, so he decides that Carl is going to take over. And he's going to attend college to become a teacher. And Eric's upset that he's not going to get the business anymore. He's now fired by Brian, and he walks off in crutches. He's now frustrated, and then you kind of get this montage of all the characters just kissing others, and which was a little unneeded, to be fair. Like, you have the grade 1 teacher kissing the clown. You have, like, the maid and Steve Buscemi's cameo kissing. Chris Farley kissing a penguin that's not real. And that's kind of how the movie ends. Now, Billy Madison's a great comedy, but if I had any problems with Billy Madison, I think Eric's just not that memorable of a villain. Maybe like they just miscast him, but I feel like they could have picked a better actor for the role. Like, I do wish Bob Odenkirk did play the character instead. I feel like he would have been a better choice. I mean, Bradley Whitford was just I've seen better Sandler villains, like Shooter McGavin was a better Sandler villain. Christopher McDonald was way better as that. Was definitely terrific for that character. That villain's much more memorable. This Eric guy was just not that great of a villain. Just wants to take over a hotel business, and that's really about it to his character. Just really not that memorable of a guy. He just kind of needed a better actor to be a little more memorable. And there's some scenes also do feel a bit absurd, like the ending of everybody kissing. You really didn't need that montage right there. Like Chris Farley kissing bus driver, kissing kissing this fake penguin that's not even really real. Did you really need that? Bit there, like, you could have just ended with the graduation ceremony, then him and Veronica hooking up would have just been nice. I don't think you really needed a kissing montage in the ending. Like, and Billy does kind of get a bit annoying at times with his gibberish when you first meet him. Like, there's some times when his humor does get a little bit excessive at times. Like, the gibberish kind of got excessive at times. Other than those, like, I still enjoy Billy Madison, and it's a perfect watch to wrap up the summer if summer break is about to end for you guys. So in the end, Billy Madison is a worth buying for Sandler fans that want the perfect Labor Day watch, and those that love the old 90s films he did. Anyways, guys, that's it for my review of Billy Madison. And for anyone to rank Billy Madison, here's how I'm going to rank this movie. So overall, if summer is about to end for you and you want the perfect film to close it off and love the 90s Adam Sandler, then this movie is totally worth a watch and buy for you. And if you're wondering how I'm going to rank Billy Madison, I'm going to give Billy Madison an 8 out of 10. And there we go, guys. That wraps up my review for Billy Madison. Now I want to know down in the comments below what you guys thought about Billy Madison. And until then, guys, also, like, happy Labor Day weekend to you all. And until then, guys, that'll be it for this review. Thank y'all for watching, and if you like this and want to see more, and don't forget to like, subscribe to Don G. Corleone.